Are we on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Microphone check. Lights.
Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
Welcome back into your earwaves and your airwaves as well. We're right on your screens on 3 Music TV and broadcasting on radio on Plus 89.9. My name is C-Real. You already know, Fresh and QT, and I'm in the studio today with the usual squad, Stubborn Squad. I've given them a name, SS, Stubborn Squad. Shanti Baby to my left.
Yes.
What's good, Shani?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine, sweetheart. I'm
Nice.
fine, sweetie. I'm fine. Yes, and Stubbornest.
Stubborn
of
Academy.
The president of
Permanent member.
President, permanent member,
Prefect.
class prefect, executive director, board chairman of Stubborn Academy.
Account holder.
How are you? Oh, David.
Permanent member.
But the next time you do the hair,
Let's
instead of
keep it.
my boy Sam, they should do S for you on the side. Then when you are coming, we say, Oga. Hey!
Let's keep it a permanent member.
See, you people don't know.
I beg you.
Lenny, I saw the hey, you people see a cute on TV. Lenny. It's not like that too. When the camera is off.
Yeah, very okay.
I'm my bills before they fire me on air. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Now, money changes people. Charlie, just dial star 959 and hash select the game of the day. Be a Monday special all the way to Sunday at Sedan. You have some big winnings in there. Boys know the rundown already, but still, I go tell you, you play by Momo and you get your money by Momo. And because of that, the secrecy is 5 billion%. Keep it to yourself, because if you go announce to mommy, your church contribution fee triple. If you go to tell every girl you date, say you don't win 100,000, the weave you go buy, it go remain you 1,999 in your balance. So my brother, shout up and play 590 mobile and keep the money on your phones, play on your phones and win big. Now that is what they're saying on the streets. Always remember to stake responsibly. Also not for persons below the age of 18. 590 mobile. And that won't sem. It's in your hand, of course. Then we go straight to personal care and hygiene. Every time we eat, food and sugars are trapped between our teeth, leading to tooth decay, gum disease, and in some cases, foul breath, aka fuse, halitosis in the technical term. Well, Pepsodent is saying that you can brush with any of the Pepsodent variants to get rid of any odors, any foul breath, any gum disease that you might have. Maximum cavity protection from Pepsodent, 10 times stronger teeth. Now, they've been doing this for 25 years, educating us to brush day and night. And Pepsodent is recommended and endorsed by the Ghana Dental Association. The 2 variants that you can get in any store near you are Pepsodent Charcoal White and Pepsodent Herbal Toothpaste. Get it in any shop at all. If you can't, you can always call toll-free, free of cost, 0800-200030. 0800-200030. Pepsodent, every smile matters. Now, when you're chilling at home, when you're watching us on your TVs or you're listening to us on radio, you always want the best quality. That's why Bang & Olufsen is saying, discover a world of innovation, a world of luxury, and a world many of us dream about owning. Discover the world of B&O, Bang & Olufsen, the particularly true brand with the high-end electronics made just for you, located in Accra, Ghana, Atlantic Towers, Liberation Road 1. Now, every day, every month, every year, they keep stocks up, and all of them drool worthy. I'm talking about home theater, speakers, headphones, television sets, sound bars, and more. Just get the best. Go to Bang & Olufsen. There's no other option. There's no alternative right here. And Bang & Olufsen saying like no one else. Why go copy when you can get the best in your living room and in your ears and for your eyes? And that is B&O bringing you that vibe. Now, I'm going to let Lenny and Shanti Baby pay their bills in a second. But talking about bills, before we pay the bills, what do? We have to work. Now, gone are the days where the whole village will wake up and one logo line, me yagbele. And they will go into the bush and everybody will take left, right, center, and everybody go to their plot of land and start working. Work has evolved. We went from that to blue collar work, white collar work. The colors have been changing. Now they are saying that we don't even need to wear any color at all. You can be in your boxers, in your nightie, open your laptop, and you can make $5,000 a day if you know how to work and work right. So we're exploring that conversation today, looking at how the past relationship and the present relationship of work has been, how economies adjust to the workflow and the workforce, and of course exploring what the future is like. Our conversation today is the future of work, independence, information, and influence. And we have with us, of course, tech consultant Isaac Newton Aqua. Now he's with International Trade Center NFT 5 and is, of course, National Project Coordinator for Tech Sector Ghana. Mr. Isaac Newton, good morning and welcome to Culture Daily.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. I see you're repping Infantipim hard.
Very hard. Very hard.
I almost sack you, but God day. I went to St. Peter, so we are kind of sworn enemies, but nonetheless, I'll host you because
who?
Oh, 1-0. Well done.
You said who?
Well done. Oh, I think you came gunning. Very good. You see, I tried to shake his hand and he gave me sweat. No problem. I could deal with you for a year. Charlie, Mr. Isaac Newton, welcome again to Culture Daily, big conversation. We're going to talk about the future of work. You're the expert in the field. You've got the answers that we need. But before we get into that, let me know a little bit about you. Let's see how our audiences can get a little understanding of exactly who Mr. Isaac Newton is.
Okay, thank you. So, as you mentioned, I'm the National Project Coordinator for a program that's implemented by the Dutch government, the Netherlands Trust Fund 5, and the International Trade Center, or the organization. We're a UN organization based out of Geneva. We're working across Africa. So we are working in Mali, in Senegal, Ethiopia, Uganda, and I'm the national coordinator here, supporting the tech sector, so tech startups, IT companies, but also working with the Ministry of Communication, with different hubs, tech hubs across the country, to make Ghana a better place for the tech sector to thrive. Okay. My background is in computer science and business. I did my master's in strategy and innovation, but with my master thesis in the computer science department, looking at what happens when big data becomes smart, so kind of the precursor of AI. And apart from tech, I'm also into the creative sector, music, fashion, film. So I like to explore as well. Well-traveled, like to see the world. But I'm a Ghanaian, apart from my accent, but I'm a Ghana boy.
Where's the accent from?
Austria.
Okay.
So Central Europe.
Central Europe, okay. Cool. When we say tech sector in Ghana, most of the time we just think fintech, because fintech seems to have made the most noise in the Ghana tech sector, to the everyday consumer. When you hear the word tech, you're just thinking, okay, ZPay, Express Pay, bank apps, Momo, all these things. That's what we think about. Can you expand on that and let us know exactly how vast and varied the tech sector cuts across us in our daily life, so that people, before we get to work of it, we understand exactly the role that tech plays in our life beyond the fintech solutions that we've become accustomed to.
Yeah, I think everything we do these days is tech. Your audience are watching us on a tech-based platform, whether it's Facebook, whether it's computers, using technology somehow. Surprisingly, although fintech makes the most noise, health tech is actually one of the biggest industries in Ghana over the last couple of years when it comes to funding. M-Pharma, they've also expanded into other places. We have companies like WeFlix, a Ghana-based Netflix company, allowing you to watch your favorite movies and TV series on your phone and online. So there are lots of different areas that tech gets involved in. And one sector that we focus on a lot is agri-tech, using technology in the agriculture space. So how can farmers now have direct access to market? How can they get access to financing as well?
I'm interested in the WeFlix. Is that what you call it? Okay. I think I've seen it in East Legon, if I'm right, but I don't think it's as popular as Netflix. So can we also talk about how you plan to market and promote that? Because I think that it will do good if we are also able to push it as a platform for movies.
I think last year they crossed 1 million subscribers.
Oh,
so although
those who know.
Those who know.
Okay,
they're going across Africa, 1 million subscribers and growing. They're still very new. Of course, Netflix has massive funding behind it, but WeFlix is now the African, the Ghanaian competitor tackling them.
Okay, that's nice.
That's cool. I've heard a lot of accessibility tech, fintech accessibility. health tech accessibility. It seems the one problem that everybody leads with is access to something you would have had to physically engage in. Now, the only thing that you said that's a bit different from access is the agri-tech, which goes a little bit beyond that and provides tangible data and does some kind of business development per se, getting markets, route to markets and stuff like that. So with regards to accessibility, which seems to be a main focus for the tech companies in Ghana, what other core, core needs in our society is tech addressing?
Apart from accessibility. Well, I would say processing. I mean, like, I think we sometimes overcomplicate IT, but it actually stands for information technology.
Right.
So any information, then you're able to have technology help you process. So, using your calculator to process numbers, that's also using IT, right? You have database, you have cloud storage. So one company in our cohort, Cloudport, they help migrate your information to the cloud. So if this building burns down, at least all your shows and everything are saved somewhere, right? So it's not about access, but it's about storage and safety.
Okay.
You have a company called QNO. They're an edutech company, and they help break down the analysis of exam results. So before you go to school, you go to very good schools. And
No. I'm not going to collect. It's too late.
and you might get a bad grade in math, right? But if you look at it, you're good at algebra, you're good at calculus, but it's differentiation or something you're not so good at. And they help you analyze exactly what parts of your education do you need more support on. So they help you sift through the data and give you information that you can then use to then go on and study the right things then for your exam.
Okay, so that's data analysis, more or less.
Yes.
So for data analysis, I know data is probably the most valuable resource on the planet now, more than gold, oil, and everything. And Ghana being a very vibrant, growing environment that's taking up social media, mobile phones, 4G, 5G on the way, all these things, streaming apps and all that. Is tech playing any role in analyzing our overall data pool as a country? To say, because I know it's something China did. They looked at the whole economy and everything from a data point, even to the point where in building their subways, they use the data from studying algae to see how algae best routes its way, and they mimic their subway system on that for the most efficiency. That is an application of data into real world and vice versa. Do we have anything like that in Ghana on the way, in incubation, or anywhere on the books?
I'll say right now our challenge is actually just generating data.
Okay.
Right? You need to have good data to then have good analytics, good results. We don't actually generate a lot of data. A lot of things are still paper and pen. If you go to any office, you have to still sign with paper and pen. None of that gets turned into data. So imagine the offices don't even know how people come in on what day, how many times does Isaac come to see them. They don't know because it's still in this paper mode. We are now pushing for digitalization. So the first point of getting data is to have it in a digital format. So there's a lot of push to get things a bit more digital. I don't know, like for the e-gov, right? Paying your taxes online, the ports, having a digital system there. We're looking in the future, hopefully, at e-government, so more things are digitalized there. But we need to start there before we have data to then analyze. But there are lots of companies that are already looking into that place. M-Ponto is one, even dealing with things with AI, what you need data for. You have companies like developers in Vogue and Blossom Academy that are training people on data analytics because they need the skill sets to then be able to do that. But we're still, I think, at a very basic stage on building and trying to create data to then use that for information.
Would you say that there are any limitations when it comes to the transition from paper to tech, from hard to soft? Because then in the transitioning as well, after the transition, then it has to do with maintenance and sustaining that, because then you find that people are raving about a particular thing and then they just keep up with it for a few weeks or months and it stops working. We have like a few examples when it even comes to exactly when it comes to certain systems in government as well. No,
definitely, right. And it's a skill set. You need to be able to use the systems, the tablets, the phones and apps. It's a mindset, You think you'll be replaced by the computers, or you're afraid of making a mistake. And then yes, it's also the kind of governance of sticking with the decision and keep using that system going forward in the long term. So all those three need to come together for it to work.
Okay. Is this, I mean, we're in Africa, right? So I have to ask, is this new wave, from your perspective, going to need to be something led by the private sector or something led by the state? Because, I mean, a lot of the fintech, the ones that work well, are all private sector. The state has attempted to do a few, but like you're saying, the human input on the end of that often makes it fall short of what we find out there in the open market. So there's something systemically wrong, or there's a shortfall when, let's say, a finance app to pay Momo, when it's a government app, there's lack of faith in it, it's not marketed well, it's always down, the system is down. But if it's a private sector one, boom, 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 you're done. In your experience, this comparison, do you think it's going to be a hindrance to, because all our data as a country, majority of it is stateside.
Yeah.
And if the state cannot build a good app for me to send Lenny 100 cities, how are they going to be able to capture from birth certificates to death certificates and everything in between in a system that when I put, let's say, my Ghana card number there, boom, there's a 2 gig file of Cyril that you can take now and say, okay, Cyril needs to be working here, not here, because looking at this, that, and reshape the society. If the government, and this is not for this government, it's like the government in totality has not been able to really hold on to tech. What do you think that limitation has been?
I think it's a complex question, but I think it's not just Africa. I think it's around the world, right? And it's something that needs to be looked at. Technically speaking, the government should create the enabling environment for private sector to come in and thrive. But the question is, would you want private sector to hold your e-card? So do you trust one company enough to hold all that information? That's the risk. So it's this kind of balancing act of efficiency and then safety.
It's a bit like in the UK when the NHS during the COVID period introduced the code whereby you could punch your details in and it comes up with your health history and everything. Like there was conversation around that, whether it being trustworthy, etc. I wanted to ask, if a place like Ghana was to become even 80% driven by tech, what kind of time frame are we looking at? How many years do you think it would take for that to happen?
It's possible in our lifetimes. I would say that.
In our lifetimes?
In our lifetimes. It's possible.
That's right? A long time. I mean, I'm yet to 110.
But I think we need a concerted effort across all areas, right? So we can't sit here talking about tech. This is a beautiful office, lights and everything. We still have schools underneath trees. So, I mean, there's this school teacher that won a Microsoft prize
for drawing
exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's great he's got a prize, but it's sad that he has to actually draw out Microsoft.
Get to that point even,
So how do those kids then become people who can insert data? They've never held a mouse before. So for us then to be 80% tech, they're going to be left behind.
I was even going to ask, because you actually spoke of being into personal development as well, and I want us to look at how personal development marries with tech and, you know, looking at the youth and the future. Tech is something that we're seeing is becoming more and more popular. More and more people are considering going into tech, things like coding, etc. So if I'm a youth in Ghana and I have limited resources, what are my choices? What is my entry point of getting into tech at the moment?
Well, firstly, shout out to Be Tech Connected. As a youth in Ghana, go check them out. They're on social media, LinkedIn, everywhere. That's one place you can learn about what's going on. But the thing is, as long as you have, I think maybe starting point is a smartphone, a very basic smartphone, you can then educate yourself on things with tech. There are a lot of different influencers, a lot of data scientists that started with just using their phone.
Right.
The issue is a lot of youth, once they get the smartphone, it's only TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. Even IG is like now for the old people, right? So it's like you have the potential in your hand, but what are you using the potential for?
It's what it's marketed for. I think in their defense, right, the processing power of the latest iPhone or the latest Samsung is probably, my phone has, I think, 2 terabytes. The first laptop I had was, I think, 256 MB, some fat Toshiba. It was like tea bread. When you
like
turn
tea
it on,
bread.
the neighbors all hear. So when they were selling this, they sold it on the fact that you can write on it.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think there's consumerism in tech, and then there's industrial use of tech, because in it's like a tool, right? Excuse me to say, if I gave a machine gun to a monkey, they're like, we're all dead. You understand? But you don't have a problem seeing a military man walk into a room with a machine gun, because you know he's trained to use this tool accurately. So I wouldn't blame the TikTokers and all this. Not blame, but I don't even look at them, because their motive for even coming to buy these things is warped from get-go. What I would say is that this readiness of this readily available fact of technology, laptops, smart TVs, smart everything. Now everything you can talk to it. If I say, hey Google right now, people's phones all across, everybody listening on, if you like people listening on Plus, hey Siri, you know how many people in their car here? That's how connected we are. How do we take advantage of this, my ability to say hey Siri and worry people in Dansoman right now? They have the tech in their hand. How does industry connect with that to make sure that this person is not just Instagramming and TikToking, but something useful, quote unquote, can come out of this connection? You get what I'm saying?
I get you. And even with influence, right? You can be on your phone, you can take videos and so on, but what are you using the videos for? So you could just have your phone and take videos of yourself, or you can become a Woody Meyer. He's using his phone, going around, interviewing.
He said he even started with a crappy Samsung or something.
And that's exactly my point. So it's like you could be the next Woody Meyer making millions of dollars, traveling around the world with the same phone, but instead you're just in your one corner, I had this food, and just keep it to yourselves and your girlfriends and whatnot, right? It's what you want to. It's about intentionality. Right, and of course, yes, maybe they haven't had a chance to think about, I could do this. They only see their peers doing the same thing, so I'll also just go into the same path. Yeah. So they need opportunities and shows like this to educate them that actually there's a lot more I can do with my phone.
Okay.
In all of this, Isaac, what would you say should be the thing that should make someone want to get into the space? Because for the creative space, we can easily say that you need passion, right, to start with, and then you can also learn into the areas that you want to get into. You have to learn on the job, because there's the case of the trained amateur and then the gifted amateur, right? For tech, what would you say should be the case? Should it be passion, or should it just be the eagerness or the want of money? Because I understand that there's a lot of money in the space, but what would be your advice to anybody wanting to get into the space and then to further use the space for influence?
It has to be passion. I mean, it's hard. Like whether it's music or whether it's coding, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of late nights, a lot of painful nights. I used to code. Okay. And trust me, it was painful.
You didn't have a social life?
No.
Right.
Like all nighters in the lab, going through, it was an error in your code somewhere, you pull out your hair, that's why hair is short.
That's why I don't have hair.
But so it's stuff like that. So I mean, for anything in life you need passion, because you need the grit that when the things are hard, you keep at it and keep going through. And that's when you become, and that's lacking. Grit is lacking.
Massively lacking.
Some of the best coders I know are self-taught. And I know a lot of people went to computer science schools and so, but the best coders are self-taught.
Yeah, my little brother codes. He was self-taught too.
Okay.
Yeah, he taught himself. He's only 17. Yeah,
passion.
Wow. In his bedroom. Yeah,
Passion.
just teaching himself. Yeah,
And that's what I'm talking about. There's this one legend in Ghana, Joshua, from the IoT Network Hub. He did he didn't do university. He did 9 months of Kofi Annan IT school. He's been on Forbes 100 Innovators of Africa. He leads the IoT Network Hub, a community of 20,000 people across Africa. Without having a university degree, he's going to teach teachers how to teach robotics. Passion, self-taught.
Okay, beautiful.
Passion.
Straight into it.
Let me ask.
All right.
I want to take this conversation a little somewhere different, but it's still in relation to tech, of course. What are some of the stereotypes that the tech industry faces? Because in our part of the world, for instance, when religion comes into play with technology, there's a lot of, superstition that surrounds the tech industry and what the future of tech might do to our world, etc. What are some of the most absurdist opinions that you've heard about tech and how tech and AI may control our future?
Well, I mean, it's not even absurd. I mean, if you look at some things that are happening with OpenAI, if you hear the conversations happening with like of Elon Musk and Jack Ma, there is a general concern, even fear of AI. The EU are now coming together to say they need to have stricter rules and regulations around AI. I don't know if you've watched Terminator, but like we're literally building Skynet as we speak. And the irony is, on one hand, it is going to help us. Technology is helping us. But it is also going to possibly replace us and annihilate us. It's going to wake up one day, it's like, you know what, I'm tired of humans, launch all nukes.
Are we creating our own monster in society?
AI is a Frankenstein, which can help us, but it can also go in a totally different direction. And that's why people are saying we need to have some sort of regulation.
So you have a balance.
Yes.
Yeah, there needs to be a balance.
So I think we've laid the foundation beautifully to get into the fact that AI is now here. COVID has made it possible to work via Zoom. We didn't know that all those emails could have been a Zoom call.
All those 2 hour, 6 hour meetings.
All those could have been text traffic to go and the man is not in his office. It could have been a Google Meet. We didn't know. Thank you, despite all the death and suffering, thank you, COVID, for the silver lining.
Very educational experience.
Dark cloud. Let's get into the future of work. What does that mean? When somebody says the future of work, what are they talking about?
Well, they're trying to create a crystal ball, or the Da Vinci can look and think ahead of how work could look like. I mean, you mentioned in your introduction about in the past we used to just go to the field. So the genesis of work was labor in the field, toil in the field. Then in the factory generation came, which we all came to one place to build cars like Henry Ford. So we had to come to the office. So the structure of the office is still based on the past structure of having to come. COVID annihilated that. So now we're become independent workers. I mean, apart from here, you guys have to still come. So you're still stuck. Unless boss gives you a nice sets to work from home and do that. But you're able to now create shows remotely or work remotely. So now this kind of independence or location independence has changed. You also see now a lot more people becoming independent. So whether it's a consultant, so you're no longer working for a company for life, that used to be the case, or a lot of artists are now becoming indie artists. So they're no longer signed to a label and becoming more independent. So I see that this trend happening where you have these kind of micro multinationals, where you're 1, 2, 3 small people, but you're still performing the duties of a whole company. So that's one of the trends that are happening. You see the trends of technology. So when AI came out, it's crazy to think it's like a year ago that it was like announced. Now everything has an AI element to it. Now even like emails you're drafting, like, let me send it to chat to see what chat thinks, right? But now
it's building that dependency.
Yes, but it's also building speed and efficiency. You say you can't edit a blank page. So I mean, there's some people who just put in a chat, please send an email to whatever, and they'll just take what it is and send across. But you can use it to generate some concepts which you then take back, reflect upon, and then send out. So it's helping you generate things faster, more efficient, helping with images. So now you don't need a graphic designer, you just talk to Bing, please, I need a graphic of ABC, it comes out. So those things are changing how things are done. And we talk about data, I'm still saying we don't have enough data, but data is being generated. And if we're now able to manipulate the data, mine the data, understand the data, we get information, and we then can use the information to our benefit. And in the future, more data will be made. Our skill sets of using data, whether it's Excel sheets or Python and different coding languages, will be higher. So what we can do with the data will be more.
Right.
And I see that's going to be one of the big things that will be coming up.
What happens to the redundancy that is created when the machine or these platforms become so advanced that for the average person to even be able to input or use these tools, like the machine becomes so advanced that it's near impossible that the everyday man can use it. Now you can get chat on any Android phone, any iPhone, just go and do it. But when it grows up and becomes so complex that you need a qualification. You need to learn something to be able to even talk to this thing to help you with the work. What's that going to be like?
Well, I believe actually it's going to be the other way. I mean, you mentioned chat is now on your phone. So like you can even use voice for chat. Yeah. So I see in the future that you won't even need a qualification. You just have a device, like you talk to Siri, and you'll be talking to chat. It'll be conversational. So the skills that you need to access higher technology will come down. There's a big conversation of what happens with the labor force, right? Like if now China is so efficient. I gave a presentation at the Future of Work Summit where I was talking about a past role that was a very high-paying role in my father's lifetime was the operator for phones. So you should call in an operator. I would like to talk to 3 Music, and then they'll plug you directly. And that was someone's job. Yeah. Obviously now that doesn't exist anymore.
Hold the line.
Exactly. Literally holding the line, right? So yes, there are going to be some jobs that will be removed. I mean, in New York, whatever, you had a person pressing the elevator button for you to go to the floor. That has changed, right? Before it was too complicated to know where to press. That has changed. But I think we're going to have to reskill those people.
Okay. What happens to the skill redundancy when efficiency peaks? Now, in 1926, Henry Ford initiated the 9 to 5, the 8-hour workday. And that was because I think Ford Motor Company was the biggest company in the States. Yeah. So there was so much to do that they needed all hands on deck. So 9 to 5 is not normal. It is somebody's initiative. Now that spilled over the world like hot beans, and everybody copied 9 to 5. But France also instituted, even as far back as 2000, they instituted a 4-day work week. Efficiency-wise, France is probably one of the most efficient economies out there in Europe and the world. People who are working overtime in Africa are still not making what French people are making in 4 days of work. So there's that redundancy. There's nothing to do. Do you get what I'm saying? There's nothing to do. Now with a 9 to 5, you have night time to rest. But if I can get 9 to 5 done in 1 hour, 9 to 10, because of this machine, what happens to the redundancy and human us?
So that's the very scary question, right? Because that's what most people are actually afraid of. They're not really afraid of work taking over their jobs, but their identity has become their job.
Yeah.
So if I now don't have to host, if I now don't have to consult, what do I do? And it should be a liberating question, because the answer is anything you want to do.
But anything I want to do will no longer be needed because the AI can do it in half the time.
And I just want to add to what Cyril was saying, that I was going to actually touch on that. The idea that, even when people were working remotely during the COVID period, the pandemic, isolation also, you said independence, but isolation also plays a factor into all of this. And like he said, having all that free time, you actually realize what does a human do? After you've done everything you want to do, what are you left with? Yeah.
So, and that's a scary question, because the whole way we work, how the house is structured, how the roads and everything structured, it's for you to sleep.
Have some interesting stats when you're done.
Drive somewhere, work, drive home. But now if you can be free, what happens? I mean, the founder of TikTok retired at the age of, I think something like 44, 38 to 40, like super young, on 38 billion. And he's like, I'm just going to go read books. And that's how he's spending his free time. He's going to read. If I retire with just a cool 2 billion in my pocket, I'll just go build a beach house, just watch the waves. I'll just be watching the waves.
Yeah, but that's redundancy. But we are here to make... Now, the reason why I'm saying that is that the moment we went digital, right, and social media peaked right before COVID, and then through COVID, and then working from home, and everybody's in their little cubicle apartment, and it's not like Ghana, like, I mean, not to sound elitist, but a lot of people haven't traveled and seen how... Bruh, you go feed their apartment and die. Nobody they care. I just saw born now. Obi be fresh.
Lack of community.
Obi born a flat four. And son I you understand?
100%.
There's that disconnect, and with the efficiency of our Zoom calls and our Google Meets and all this working on your laptop, depression isolation,
skyrocketed.
manic disorders skyrocketed because human interaction.
Even divorce.
Yes,
a lot of divorces happened.
Yeah, a lot of people said
Broke
they've
up.
never, like, I don't know what to do with my wife.
Yeah.
Because
Like
we've never
all
been,
that time.
we've been in the same house for 2 weeks.
Too much.
You know, you understand?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the office and fight with my boss and get angry. Your moods are not regulated. Because you come to work, you're excited to see one person, you're disappointed to see somebody. You remember when Lenny pissed you off, remember when Chantel bought you lunch. So you are regulating as a human being. But if I can be in my little house and host culture daily, after a year of this, not interacting with anybody, just talking into a mic,
No, it will even do a lot of harm to your mental health.
that's why
you know,
depression,
so,
all these manic things, and
100%.
suicides are going up because we are losing that in going to work and asking, what did you bring for lunch? Was part of the interaction. But now you don't do it because now there's no lunchtime. You can literally be on the Zoom call and eating whatever you want, or mute your mic and chew as loud as you want. You understand? And then when they mention your name, Cyril say, sorry, my mic was off. You understand? So we've changed the whole dynamics of human reality. So it's not just the future of work, from my perspective, but the future of work affects the future of human experience. And I don't know if there's any contingency that's ready to catch all the crashing minds and crashing psyches that are going to come raining down.
Out of this.
You get what I'm saying?
100%. But you have to then be mindful of it. And so I have a friend of mine. She sent me a text this week with hashtag 97, which is she's gone to her 97th country in the world. She travels
Goals.
extensively.
Amazing.
Goals.
She should send me her passport. She look the picture.
She works remotely, independent worker. She used to work at Google and now independent worker.
She's gone, yeah.
But she still has a sense of home. She has a home she goes back to in Austria. She's very good at staying in touch with people. She still has that human connection. When she goes to places, she immerses herself with the culture, with people, with friends. So she still doesn't have that mental health issue because she's with people. When you're able to work remotely, doesn't mean you have to stay in your one house. So I can work from wherever I want, but I go to work in a hub, so I have that human interaction. I could be at a beach, I could be at a home, but I go to a hub to have that human interaction. So you just change where your remote is, right? So it's those kind of things you need to then be mindful of and then adapt.
Now begins the question. If I'll drive from my house to a cafe just to go and be around people, why didn't I just go to work?
That's the question. Maybe the
See,
cafe.
sometimes I feel like we are so smart sometimes that you know, like I don't have to sit in traffic and I don't have to waste fuel and then now we are saying human interaction. Then you pack the same laptop, extension board, hard disk,
And go and
a
sit
headphone, and then you drive
cafe.
probably further than your office.
Yeah.
Because I like the ambience at this
The
cafe.
kosher
But then I
space,
want
yeah.
Kwejumaya. You get what I'm saying? So I'm exploring it from a point that majority of people like the remote work because it simultaneously allows you to seem effective while being lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy in the sense that you don't have to go through the everyday human toils, traffic, rushing for the bus, the train, doing all these physical things. Where do I need to end?
And then
get
almost
run,
inactivity.
spend money. So you sit on your couch, Netflix is on, you are watching, the Zoom call starts, you are listening with half your brain. Cyril, yeah, sorry, yeah. So what you guys were saying, yes, I agree. Then I'm back to. So we are confusing the fact that I get to work from my comfort zone with the fact that I get to be productive remotely. Because if you drive 2 kilometers to a cafe for human interaction, you could have gone 1 kilometer to your office.
Yeah.
That's very true.
You get it.
But there are some companies that are creating like mini hubs for their workers. So instead of going to like downtown Accra, okay, we have a office in Dansoman. We have
Are those not just
co-working-
branch offices? I'm just
but
coming at you
they are.
because, like for example, a bank. They have branch offices everywhere.
Yeah.
And most of the time they do sensible recruiting where it's geolocated. So if you live at Kaswa, they are not going to post you to Tema branch where you have to commute one country a day. You understand? If you're in Kaswa, maybe they'll push you to Weja or somewhere that's realistic. That's exactly what you're saying now.
100%.
Yeah. So it's like we're reinventing the wheel, but this time plugging in computers.
that's what's happening. History always repeats itself.
Well, it's definitely Skynet. We're definitely going to die.
Which is why AI is really hard to replicate us, right?
Yeah.
We're too complex.
Well, in talking about human interactions and moving away from, the adult space, right? Tech and then our little ones, our youngings. Do you think that eventually tech will also, pull them back from human interactions? Because now you find that the only thing that can calm some children is when they have a phone or when they have their iPad.
And can it hinder their development as well?
Yes, and then
detachment anxiety.
There's this detachment when you even take away the phone. Like, I'm taking away your phone so you can sleep or you can eat or shower, and then the baby just
screaming
becomes hysteric. Starts crying and screaming. Do you think that technology, one way or the other, in the long run, will also affect children? Because these young ones will also grow, right? So what's it for you?
No, definitely. This is economist Tim Hartford, who was talking about his children and seeing how tech has changed things. His oldest child grew up in an analog world. So when he goes around, he's also trying to press buttons, because that's what used to happen. Press play, press whatever. The youngest one is swiping everything, because that's how you unlock phones and unlock things. So they're already conditioned differently. So you already see that playing out. I think the challenge is it has potential. And it's like, what happens with the potential is what you need to look at. My nephew, he's a huge World of Fortnite player. He loves Fortnite. It was his uncle, can I get some credit to buy the skin for Fortnite and whatever. Amazing player. He spends hours on it, right? But it's monitored. So like on certain days he can't play, when he finishes homework he can play. So you get that balance there. But he spent hours on it, but he has his friends who are also playing it. So although he's sitting in his corner in his room with his headphones, he's actually socializing with people around the world, learning team skills, learning communication skills, working together in a different way. Before, you had to come together and have your Lego or puzzle piece in the room.
I have, again, Mr. Bad Guy, I have a downside to that I want to question. There used to be cultural and social gatekeeping to make sure that those of us who grew in Accra or grew in Ghana know Pilolo, know Chaskele, know some things, right? But now my daughter has an American accent. She's not gone anywhere before. You get what I'm saying? She has an American accent. During the pandemic, kids developed the Peppa Pig accent across the world, right? Which is basically high jumping their immediate culture and taking them into this hyper culture where it's just, I'm a citizen of the world because YouTube, right? But gone are the days where if somebody met from France, Germany, Spain, Japan, Ghana, that mix of culture, we used to go on, what's the name, Year Abroad. It was for cultural exchange. They bring somebody from America, so this is how we do it in Ghana. You guys eat with your hands. Yeah, some of our foods, we don't do any of that anymore because everybody can just go online and start chatting on WhatsApp.
Global village.
You understand? And now we talk in memes. So things like language, we talk in memes. Somebody sends you understand. Gone are the days you had to explain that and tease the person physically or something and have a real human interaction. Now you send that little yellow thing and it's more than a sentence. So we are diluting, my opinion, we are diluting our cultural and our social experiences for convenience. I miss you. It used to be something that carried value. Now it's IMU. We were just talking about it.
And then only today I got to find out there's also MU, which also says miss you, which I hadn't even seen.
Too lazy to put the I.
You understand exactly how lazy can you be? You are saying you miss this person. Do you get it? Like gone are the days where I miss you is I'll walk come your house. Hey, Charlie,
can I ask, when was the last time you sent someone a handwritten letter?
We spoke about this today.
We just spoke about this morning.
Your oracle, where does he work? Does he do bets? Does he do bets? We spoke about this in another studio. I mean, the last time I sent a handwritten letter was in SS. Maybe 1976. Okay. Was in SS like what? Late 90s, early 2000s. And
I can't remember.
And that's the issue. So like every generation looks at the next generation. Oh, you guys are more lazy.
But this seems to be the only generation that has, should I say, irreversible repercussions to the global space. Think about it. We've lost the history of the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians. We've lost it because some new experience superseded it and nobody preserved those ones. So here we are now where my daughter, whose father is from the Volta region, has no inkling of her reality, but is so heavily invested in another reality which is fed by tech. You understand? When she starts having kids, that disconnection to my reality is gone forever.
So it's up to us to fix that. And what I mean by it,
How do we fix that?
You mentioned COVID. I mean, it's a kind of morbid example, but during COVID, the Ghanaian pallbearers were a hit. And that's Ghana culture going global. And that was, I mean, like my friend in Spain was sharing me that song that, hey, you guys, like, your Ghana people are now made it here. So we need more data to go into the worldwide market and represent Ghana. I know we have people like Fuse, we have Black Sherif who are doing that in the music space. Stonebwoy, sorry, of course. But we also have like animators, right? So Francis Brown from Animax Studio, first African to be on Amazon Prime. He's now working on a really beautiful Africa animation, looking at different like Egyptians and
we had Mills also here. They did the Asantewa, was it?
Yeah.
Asantewa animation. They won some awards, been on film festivals.
Perfect. So we need more of that to be done, right? If we can create data and content information and diffuse it on the web, then you have Americans and Japanese
Also
looking at
our culture.
Exactly.
So the message here is, don't allow your culture to die. Find a way for it to transcend.
In pursuit of
Balance is
technology.
important.
In the pursuit of technology.
A is still for Apple. A is not for anything Ghanaian.
Well, we need to change that, right? And it's about us creating the mindset and for us to buy into Ghana. One of the issues I still find in Ghana is that we love foreign. So we need to start saying, no, yellow is not, like, one of the big culture shocks I had when I came was, I lived in Austria, lemons are yellow. In Ghana, they are green.
Green. And I refer to them as a lime, but I was told that here it's a lemon.
Yes.
I know what you mean.
Right? So it's those kind of things which to just bring out to the world, like, no, this is the way. So using film, using fashion, using content, and bring it out and like, put our culture, our message out. So like you have like, I mean, Money Heist, the show, huge hit. Lots of those things are funded or supported by like the government, right? There's a lot of support by them, whether it's the tax breaks or funding to help produce these shows because they know it's influential not just for the country but worldwide. India, Hollywood, and everything. We need more support for film and creative sector in Ghana to help populate the mindsets for Ghanaians like your daughter, but also people outside.
Mr. Newton. In a country where we import over $250 million worth of used clothes a year, and intestines, and willy.
Willy is imported.
Soft willy.
Willy is imported.
Yes.
We import 100 million tomatoes. Tomatoes is imported.
Willy, Yamadia.
We import willy.
I said onions.
This is news to me. Willy.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The force is not surprising. It's the willy that's surprising.
No, I mean the force. Yeah, you can understand that. There's a reason it's called Brony Wewu, but for the willy, no.
Now we are seeing it.
I'm hearing it for the first time.
You know, in a society where, of course, cultural corruption is this massive, everything comes in, nothing goes out, right? Where do we start? Because it's also dangerous that you have one side of Ghana innovating, building, finding how to make AI work, and the other side which is doing nothing to preserve anything Ghanaian. The moment that machine clicks, it's going to suck out everything Ghanaian and just fill us with whatever the most powerful forces. Because Squid Games trended in Ghana, the same way Prison Break trended in Ghana, the same way Zora trended in Ghana, Sunset Beach trended in Ghana, novellas are trending in Ghana. Hey, Emilio, I don't know why it's trending. You understand? So preserving our culture is not something we care about. For your last submission, how do you think we start from the human element before we get to the future of work today? How do we do that?
We need to change our mindsets. We need to do it. I mean, and thank you guys. You guys are really the frontiers of that. Get into the earwaves, the minds of people. We need to start here. We need to have conversations about it. But it needs to be done across board, from the family units to schools to churches and imams. We need to change the mindset of how we think, how we operate, and we need as a people to look and think ahead. We need to be proud of Ghana, buy Ghana, build in Ghana, make in Ghana, consume Ghana, and therefore we will come together as a people. We're still not a people, and that's one of the big things that we still need to change in Ghana. You have UK, you have France, they are kingdoms conquered by one king. We're still very proud, we are from the Volta region, and we're proud Fanti and whatnot, but we don't really think of ourselves as Ghanaian.
A nation, yeah.
So we need to start thinking of them first as Ghanaians, and then as West Africans, and as Africans, and then really use that in what we do and think about how do we move Africa forward.
Right, moving Africa forward. There's been a great conversation with the man Isaac Newton, talking tech, the future of work and its implications for everyday life and our futures. Whether Skynet is indeed going to rain down nukes on us one day, let us pray not. But before we wrap up, let my ladies pay some bills quickly. Shanti baby, fire!
Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, fashion enthusiasts and trendsetters, brace yourselves for a wardrobe revolution. This message is brought to you by the fashion destination that believes in the mantra, everybody deserves to dress well. LC Waikiki. LC Waikiki is not just a brand, it's a commitment to bringing affordable fashion to every family worldwide. And now they've set their stylish footprint in Ghana. LC Waikiki is your one-stop destination for fashion-forward finds for every member of the family. Whether you're looking for the latest trends, comfortable casuals, or chic outfits like the one I'm wearing here, LC Waikiki has got you covered. Step into a world where fashion meets affordability, where style knows no bounds, and where your entire family can express themselves through their clothing choices without breaking the bank. Don't miss out on the fashion extravaganza happening at LC Waikiki, because everyone deserves to dress well. Visit them today at Achimota Retail Centre, Accra Mall, or Junction Mall.
In dressing very well, everybody deserves to look good as well, right? And then in looking good, the Cat and Braid Saloon is calling all vendors and trendsetters. Don't miss out on the hottest event of the season, Ghana Lifestyle Fair 2023, hosted by the Cat and Braid Saloon at the Legon City Mall. If you do not know where that is right opposite University of Ghana. From Monday 18th to Friday 22nd of December 2023, they will be transforming your style with their team of talented barbers and braiders. Whether you're looking for a sleek new haircut or intricate braids that turn heads, they've got you, the people who will put their skills and expertise to use to make sure that your style and dreams are a reality. Plus, they'll be there for 24 hours a day, throwing in freebies such as beer, hairbands, and loads of entertainment for an unforgettable experience. For more information or to get on board as a vendor, you can call 059 4011 or walk in for that style upgrade.
All right. Bills paid, conversation had. We've explored the future of work, the future of tech, and of course the impact in our society. My name is Serial, aka Fresh, and QT. I've been here with Lenny Lomote, Chantel Yeboah, and of course the man Isaac Newton. This has been the big conversation right here on 3 Music TV's Culture Daily, streaming as well on Plus 89.9 and on Facebook. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.